Okay, good morning, everyone. So last time we started talking about the graphs. It's 1.9. So here's 1.9. Uh, the graphs is 1.2. It's the graph of the equation, the graph of an equation. Okay, and we stop up to the intercept. So 1.2 graphs. I gave an example for how we can graph some equation. So we'll start talking about how we can like using the table and we choose random points for and then we plug this point, the x value inside the equation, then we get some order pairs. Then we represent this order pairs and we sketch like small curve between this point until we get a curve. Then I stopped last time until for like stop at intercept. I talk about a little bit about intercept here. So there's no two kinds of intercept, the x-intercept, the x-intercept, and also we have the y-intercept. And the y-intercept. So how we can find the x-intercept? Any idea how we can find the x-intercept?
When the value of y is 0.
Exactly. So we set. So we find. So here's the way to find the x-intercept is by set the y equals 0. So here the way to find the x-intercept by setting y equals 0, then we solve for x. Then we solve for x. This is how we can find the x-intercept. And how we can find the y-intercept? Any idea?
When x equals 0.
Exactly the same things, but here we plug x equals 0. So here is the way to find the y-intercept by setting x equals 0. Then we solve for y. Then we solve it for y. This is the way how we can find the y-intercept. So I'm going to give example, and I will show you in the example how we can find both of the x and both of the x and y-intercept. So the example said, here we have example, find the x-intercept and the x-intercepts and the y-intercept, x and the y-intercept for the equation. So I have the equation is here's the equation is y equal x squared minus 2. The question is find the x-intercept and the y-intercept for the equation y equal x squared minus 2. First of all, how we can find the x-intercept? Who who will do the x-intercept this question? And
You would put y equals 0,
then
and
what?
then it becomes like a quadratic equation, and then you factor it.
Exactly. So we solve it for x, right? Like we're looking for the value for x. So here for the x-intercept, we put y equals 0. This is the definition. The way to find the x-intercept by setting y equals 0, then we solve for x. So here we put y equals 0 for the x-intercept. So y equals 0. So you put instead of y 0, so we get 0 equal x squared minus 2. Then we solve the value for x. We're looking for the values of x. How we can find the values of x here? 0 equal factor it, right?
Yeah.
So what is the factor for this here? X squared minus 2?
It would be in parentheses x minus 1.
Minus
and
what?
then X minus 1.
No, okay.
I mean, yeah, x minus 1, and then the other one would
X
be
plus 1.
x. Yeah, x plus 1.
Is this the factoring for this equation?
No,
This is not the factoring for this equation. So
Oh.
what is the factoring for this equation? Any other idea? So this is not the factoring. It's not taking the half of 2. This is not the factoring. So what is the factoring of this equation? Or how we can solve this equation? Any other idea?
yeah, I think you would just add 2 on both sides and square root.
Yeah, this is good. Like we can adding 2 for both sides. Add 2 for both sides. Then what we get?
Then you get a square, x equals square root of
X
2, and
squared
then x
equal
equals
2,
minus
right?
square root of 2.
This is like simple quadratic equation. X squared equal 2. This is a simple quadratic equation. We talked about this things of the equation last time. This is like simple quadratic equation. How we can find the solution for simple quadratic equation? What we should do now?
Square root, maybe?
Square root for both sides. This is correct.
Plus or minus.
Take exactly plus and minus. So this is taking the square root for both sides, and here take the square root. I will get x equal. So here I get x equal, like some students said, we take the x positive and negative for the simple quadratic equation, the square root of 2. So actually I get two solution, two x-intercept. What is the first one? And what is the second one?
The first one is
I get 2. Yes, Brandon. And can you get, yes, Brandon, can you go ahead? Okay, Shop, can you go ahead?
yeah, it's first one is the first intercept will be at negative square root of 2, comma
Okay. And
positive
what?
square root of 2.
Exactly. Positive square root of 2. So actually I get two x-intercept. The first one is x equal the positive square root of 2. And the second one is the minus the negative square root of 2. So actually I get two x-intercept for this example. Now I'm going to do it for the y-intercept. So how we can find the y-intercept? How we can find it? Read here. The way to find the y-intercept by setting x equal
0.
0. Then we solve it for
Y.
y. If we're finding the values for y. Yes. Here Sif said set x to 0. This is correct. Okay, Job. Can you do it? This example?
Yeah, so
Yeah, okay.
if you're finding so it's y equals 0 squared minus 2.
Okay. So here I get the equation is y equal x squared minus 2. So set what? X equals 0. Then we solve it for y. So here y equal what, Shop? 0?
Y equals 0 square
Okay. Minus 2, right?
minus 2.
Okay. Then what I get? Y equal what?
You just get y equals minus 2.
Minus 2. This is correct. So how many y-intercept I get here in this one, in this example? How many one? How many point?
You just get 1.
I get only one y-intercept. But for the x-intercept, I get 2 points. Now, if I wanna like show you what is the mean exactly for x-intercept and the y-intercept for this example, I will graph this equation. So I'm going to graph this, like this equation. The graph for this one here is the x axis, and this is my y axis. So the graph for this one, so we have 2 points as x-intercept. The first point is the x equal minus square root of 2, and the second one is x equal the positive square root of 2. So this is my first point here. Here's my first point, the negative square root of 2, and here is the second, here is the first point, this is my second point, and here is the y-intercept also. This is my y-intercept, is y equals minus 2. So actually the graph for this equation is look like a parabola. It will be something like this. Something like this. So look, I mean for the x-intercept, where is the graph intersect the x-axis? So the graph intersect the x-axis at this point. This point is minus square root of 2. And also this point is the positive square root of 2.
So
So
this
the
is where
graph actually exactly where's the x, like I mean like where is the graph of x-axis intersect the x-axis at 2 points. The first point is minus square root of 2, and the first point is minus square root of 2, and the second point is the square root of 2. Now, whereas the graph intersect the y-axis at only one point, the point is y equal minus 2. So this point here, this point is y equal is minus 2. The graph intersect the y-axis at minus 2. Makes sense what I mean for the x-intercept and the y-intercept? Any question? Any question for this, the x and the y-intercept? Makes sense? How we can find the x and the y-intercept?
The graph is
Okay.
not accurate, right?
The graph what? What's your question?
The points on the graph are not like legit accurate. They're just like around, right?
What do you mean?
Like square root of 2. That's not where you just put any point square root of 2, but that's not where it is actually, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. It's not exactly here in the minus. This is like a simple graph to show you what I mean of the x and y intercept.
Yeah,
This is not exactly the square root of 2, because the value for square root of 2 is like more than 1, is between 1 and 2. This is like a sample graph to show you what I mean of the x intercept and the y intercept. I mean, like for x-intercept, where's the graph intersect the x-axis, and what's the y-intercept means where's the graph cross or intersect the y-axis. Okay. This is my x-axis here, by the way, and this is my y-axis.
And the intersection point in the x's also shows that the y is equal to 0. That's why we set it equal to 0.
Yes, like here, which point exactly? What do you mean, like shop?
Like the
Can you-
x-axis and the
The x-
y-axis in terms of
the x-axis. This is mean when I plug the y equals 0. So they give me the square root of 2 and minus square root of 2. And here when I plug the x equals 0, they give me the minus 2. This is what I mean also. This is another meaning for the y-intercept. Or if you want to know what is the mean, like when I said the x-intercept, where is the curve across the x-axis? Where is the curve across the x-axis? I mean, which point exactly the curve across the x-axis? And the same things, where is the curve across the y-axis? The curve across the y-axis at this point, the red one, and where is it crossing the x-axis at the blue points? This is what I mean of the x and the y intercept. Here I get question, how did you get square root of 2? How did you get the square root of 2? So here, the question comes from Mariami. So here, we plug, first of all, the x-intercept, we set y equals 0. So when we set the y equals 0, I get x squared minus 2. Then we add 2 for both sides. Then when I add 2 for both sides, I get x squared equal 2 because here they will cancel out, minus 2 plus 2. So I get x squared equal 2. Then we take the square root for both sides. When I take the square root for both sides, I get x equal positive, negative, the square root of 2. That's why, so x equal the positive square root of 2 or x equal minus square root of 2. So this means the x-intercept, whereas the curve intersect or cross the x-axis. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to different topic in this section is called the circles. Circle.
Professor, we don't have calculators, right, for the test. So
No
how
calculator.
do we graph a square root of 2 if we don't know? Or like
If you want to graph the x squared by using the plotting point, as we learned last time, you're taking like random points for the x coordinate. For the x, you plug it inside the equation, then you get the y value for the y coordinate. Then you get some order pairs, x, like open parentheses, x comma y, then you graph any equation by using the table. I mean, taking some random points for the x coordinate, you plug it inside the equation, you get the value for the y coordinate, then you graph by using the table, you get order pairs, then you set this order pairs in the Cartesian plane, then you draw like a sample line between this point until you get the graph of the equation, something like this.
Oh, so it's preferably we should use ordered
The table.
pairs mostly,
Yes,
right, for the plotting
exactly.
points.
Order pairs, exactly. We will not use any calculator in this course. Calculator is not allowed in this course. So you have to use your hand and use your, like to graph, you have to graph by using the order pairs. If you need to calculate any numbers, you have to do it by yourself. You cannot use the calculator for this class. Now circle. So any idea about circle? What is the equation of circle? What is the mean of circle? Anyone has Any idea what is the mean of circle?
It's it adds up to 365 degrees.
360, 60 or 65?
65.
60.
Oh, 60.
Yes,
360.
360 degree. This is correct. This is the degree of the any circle. Okay, but in this class, we're going to talk about equation of circle. Is more like general about circle. Do you know what is the equation of circle? Did you hear about the equation of any circle? What we need for any? Yeah, go ahead.
Isn't it area equals pi radius squared?
Equal what?
Pi radius squared.
This is for the area of the circle, but did you hear about the equation only? This is correct for the area of the circle, but we're not going to use the pi. Why? Because the pi is not talk about any equation of the circle. I'm going to give you a hint. To find the equation of any circle, we need only two things. The first thing is the center, C of H, comma K. And also, we need the radius, R. The radius is the distance from the C to this point. This point is called P, X, comma Y. So actually, for any circle in your life, you need only two things. First one is the circle. The second one is the radius. So here I can said equation of a circle. The equation of the circle, we need the equation of the circle first of all. So we need two things. The first one is the center, the center of the circle. It's called C. And also we need the radius. We need two things. The first one is the center of the circle, and we need also radius. So we need center and we need radius. If we get the center of the circle and we get the radius, we can find the equation of the circle. The equation of the circle is x minus, suppose my center here is C.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yes. Can you do it?
Isn't it x minus y squared?
X minus, here we have the center is H. The
All right,
value for
h
yeah.
h squared,
Okay. Plus
and then
y minus
that
what?
y minus k.
Square.
Yeah.
Correct. Equal what? The radius square. What is the radius here?
The r
Is r square. This is the equation for any circle in your life. You need the center, you need center, and you need radius. And the equation is x minus h, everything square, plus y minus k, everything square, equal the radius square. Here I get the question, circumference is C, right? No, the C is the center. The C here is the center of the circle. The R here is the radius of the circle. Suppose my circle has center 0 and 0. What is the equation? What is my equation of the circle? Suppose the center is 0, 0. What is the equation of the circle?
It's gonna be x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared
Equal r squared. This is
Yeah.
correct. Thank you. This is completely correct. If here I can say here, if the center is 0, 0, the origin point 0, 0, and the radius is r. So the equation of my circle is, again, is, so you plug here instead of h and k 0. So now can I get x minus 0 square plus y minus 0 square. I will get r square. Now x minus 0 is x minus 0. What is the value? What's x minus 0? Ahmed?
X. Just
X.
right there.
Exactly, just x. X square here I get plus y minus 0 is the same things, y square equal r square. So this is the equation of the circle when the radius is the origin point. So I'm going to graph the circle here. So here is the circle. The circle is in the center. So like this. So look, my radius is 0, 0. My center is 0, 0. And my radius is r, any r, like this. So here I can say C of 0, 0, 0, comma 0. And the red one is the radius. Radius is a distance. This r. Here is r. Make sense? Now we're going to give, I'm going to give example for how we can graph any equation. So here, example. Oh, by the way, this is my x-axis. And the same thing here, x-axis. And this is my y-axis. And this is my y-axis. Okay, so example now. Example. Okay. The question is graph each equation. Graph each equation. So the question is x squared first one, number one, is x squared plus y squared equal 25. First of all, we have to find two things. The first one is the center, and the second one is the radius. So who will rewrite this equation as of the form x minus h squared plus y minus k square equal r? Who will do this one? Square.
I'll do it.
Yes, go ahead.
X squared is, it's gonna be x minus 0 squared
Correct. Okay. Plus.
y minus 0 squared
Okay.
equals
Equal.
5 squared.
Equal what?
5 squared.
Correct. Thank you. And Eric said x minus 0 everything square plus y minus 0 everything square equal the radius 5 square. This is correct, Eric. So, and yes, go ahead.
I'm Ahmed, not Eric.
Ahmed. And also, yeah, Ahmed, he said x minus 0 everything square plus y minus 0 everything square equal 5 square. And also Eric in the chat, he said the same thing. Thank you, both of you. Now, so this equation, it's look like exactly the same like this equation. Now, what is my center, Ahmed?
Your center is 0, 0.
0, 0. It's called the origin. What is the radius?
5.
Exactly, 5 only. So now I can graph this equation as the center is 0, 0, and the radius is 5. So I graph the Cartesian plane like this. Here is my Cartesian plane. This is my circle. It's in the center. Okay. Now the center is the origin, like we said. Here is the center. This is 0, 0. Let's see of 0, comma 0, and the radius is 5. The radius is 5. Here is the radius, the blue one. Here, r equal 5. Equal 5. Any question?
In the test, if we have to graph the circle, like what if we can't, like
Yes, you don't
draw-
have to. Exactly, you don't have to graph it like exactly. You have to graph it like a sample circle, and you have to show me the radius is 5, the center is 0 and 0. You don't have to use any tools to graph it exactly circle with the, you don't have to use anything, just you have to graph a sample for circle and you show me the center 0, 0, the radius is 5. Okay. This is clear here. Any question? Anyone has a question for this one? Number one. Makes sense. So you know how to graph the graph of circle of this form. Okay, number two, if you don't have example, if you don't have a question, number two. If my circle equation is x minus 2 square plus x plus 1 square equal 25. Who will rewrite this equation of the form x minus h square plus x plus, x minus k square equal the radius square? Who will do this one? Anyone want to do this one?
I have a question. So the center is +2 and -1, right?
The center is negative. What is the center again? What you said?
Is it +2 and -1?
Yes.
Okay, so
Can you rewrite it of this form, Shop?
so x
minus 2.
x minus 2 squared.
Okay,
Wait.
plus what? Here is y, sorry.
Yeah.
This is y. This is y.
And then x plus 1,
X-
x minus 1, no? Or
X
plus
minus
1,
2 plus Y minus what?
y minus 1,
Y minus minus 1,
right, yes,
like this. Square. Equal what?
equals 5
Square.
squared.
So actually, we rewrite this equation of this form: x minus h, x minus 2 square plus y minus minus 1 square equal 5 square. Here is y, sorry, again, this is the same, I make the same mistake here. Here is
You
y,
change, to
y
get the
minus,
center, you
yes.
change the signs inside the square roots.
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Eric, he said, I don't get it. So again, to rewrite the equation of the circle of this form, you have to write x minus h is minus 2. Here, everything is fine. You don't have to change anything. Plus y minus k. Y minus k. Here, to make it y minus k is equal y minus minus 1, because minus times minus is positive 1 square, equal the 5 square. We're looking for two numbers. The multiplication is 25. The number is 5. Makes sense, Eric?
But when you graph it, the points are gonna be -2 and -1.
It will be positive 2 and negative 1.
Why is it gonna
Because,
be, yeah.
yes. Okay, why? Because here in the original circle, the equation of the circle here, the center, like we said before, look, if we go back to the previous slide, the center is H positive and K positive, but when we plug it in the equation of the circle, become negatives. Look, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. But the center is, we flip the sign of this one is positive h and positive k. So go back to the example. The center here is h positive and k positive, and the radius is r. Okay, so actually the center is, we flip the sign here, it become like h positive, and we flip the sign of the k, it become as positive k. So here, to rewrite this equation, we have to change the positive 1 to minus minus 1. So what is the center of this equation? What is the center? Yes, Shop. Yeah,
2.
Ahmed.
2.
2 and what?
2 and -1.
Exactly. 2 and negative 1.
But
We
you said you
flip
gotta
this.
make it positive.
Yes, the equation here is y plus 1. So actually, when we rewrite it, we write it y minus minus 1. So the center would be like 2. We flip this one, or if we don't want to rewrite it, just we flip the sign for this one. Here, negative 2 become positive 2, and we flip the sign for this one. Instead of positive 1, become negative 1. So this
Oh,
is the center. Now, what is the radius? Is
5.
5. That's correct. So the center is 2 and negative 1, and the radius is 5. Now to graph this one, the same like before. We draw the x and the y axis. So this is my x axis, and this is my y axis. So this here. So the center is positive 2, negative 1. So it's gonna be like around here. So positive 2, here is 1, 2, and negative 1 like around here. This is the center of the circle, and the radius is 5. So it's gonna be like around something like this. Around something like around this. It's not exact like that, but it's gonna be like more bigger. It's 5 points. The radius is 5 and the center is negative is 2 and negative 1. So here is the center and here is the radius. Here is the radius. Okay, any question for this example? Makes sense? Is it clear how we can find the center and the radius? Again, you just to find the center, you have to flip the sign of the x here. It's -2, so it's become +2. And the +1 become -1. So this is my center, and the radius, you're looking for numbers. If you square it, you get 25. The number is 5. Yes, Eric. X -2 stay the same because the origin equation circle is x minus h. But for y plus 1, we have to change it to y minus something. This something is -1 because minus times minus, they give me +1. Okay. This is what about how we can graph the equation. Now we have different equation. I mean, different example. The example now, find number, we have 3, find the equation of the circle with radius 3 and center 2, comma -5. What is the equation of circle? Has radius 3 and center 2, comma -5. Who will do this one? I'm going to give you the hint. Yeah, go ahead. The hint for yes, go ahead.
Okay, so it would be x -2 square
X minus,
plus
hold on. X minus 2 square plus okay
y plus 5
minus, exactly, minus become plus, +5 square is correct,
equals 9.
9, exactly. 3 square is 9. Thank you so much. This is correct. She plug instead of h the +2, instead of k the -5. So I get x -2, everything square, plus y minus is +5, everything square, and the radius square, 3 square is 9. Here I get the question, does the size of the circle matter? The size? No, yes. What do you mean like the size is matter? Like the radius? The size of the circle, it depends on the radius. If the radius is large, I think the area of the circle becomes so large. It depends on the radius. If the radius is small, the area of the circle is small. But this is not our lecture. My lecture today talking about the equation of the circle, not talking about the area of the circle. So just you have to know how you can plug the center inside the equation, and you have to know how you can plug also the radius inside the equation, and you have to know how we can get the equation, the circle of the equation of the circle like this: x -2, everything square, plus y plus 5, everything square, equal the radius square, 3 square is 9. This is the first part of this question, of this example. Now the second part is find the equation of the circle that has points. The first point is B 1, 8 and Q 5, 6 minus 6 as the end points of diameter of meter. Okay, so and the second question said if I have a circle, this circle look like this, and I have a line, this line passing the center is called the diameter. This is the center here of this circle. This line passes this point is P of 1, 8, and this point here is Q of 5, minus 6. The question is find the equation of the circle. So actually, to find the equation of the circle, I need two things. I need center order pairs, and I
And
need the
radius.
radius. Yes, go ahead, Mahsina.
So
How
do we
can
use like distance formula?
distance formula and how we can find the center?
The center, you would add the x values, divide by 2, comma, the y values divide by 2, maybe?
Yes, this is correct. What is that called?
The midpoint formula.
Midpoint formula. Exactly. So the midpoint formula, I can find the center. Add 1 plus 5 over 2, 8 plus minus 6 over 2. So the midpoint is my center in this question. So here, the midpoint is my center. It's the center point of this equation. This is equal. What is the formula for the midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, who will do this one? Plug inside the equation. So this is equal what?
It's 5 plus 1. 5 plus 1 divided by 2, which is
Okay.
3, and then comma 8 plus negative, so negative 6 plus 8, which is
plus
2
6.
divided by 2.
Okay.
So the
And what is
midpoint is
what is it?
3, comma 1.
Comma 1. So this is my center. So actually I find the center. The C is equal 3, comma 1. How I find it? By the midpoint formula. I add the x variable, x coordinate to each other divided by 2, and the same things for the y. I added the y coordinate, I divided by 2. So I get 3, comma 1. This is my center. The center here is 3, comma 1. Now, how can I find the radius? So the radius is
The radius, you would use what's her name, like what she said before, the distance formula.
the distance formula. Between which point would you like to use?
Between P and C.
C and P, yes, this is correct. So actually, Shop, hold on one second, Shop. So Shop, he said, I can find the radius between P and C is the radius, or I can find it by C and Q, the distance between C and P, or between C and Q. This is the radius. He chose C and P, C, comma P. And we know the formula. The formula is the square root of what? Go ahead. So
Square root of x x1 plus
x1 minus, right?
x1 minus
x1 minus
yeah,
x2 square plus y1 minus y2 square. So this is my first point and this is my second point. So now we're going to plug inside the formula. So this is equal what? The square root
yeah
of x1. What is my x1?
consider 5 minus 1.
Oh, you're gonna use the Q point or the
Oh
P?
no,
Would you like
sorry,
to
the
use
P. Sorry,
Okay.
C and P. I mixed it up. So
Yes.
3 minus 1,
Is exactly 3
Square.
minus 1 square. This is correct.
and then
Plus
1 minus 8 squared.
1 minus 8 square. This is correct. 1 minus 8 square. So 3 minus 1 square and 1 minus 8 square. Now 3 minus 1 is 2, square is 4, and 1 minus 8 is minus 7, and the square of minus 7 is
It's 49.
49. Correct. So the radius,
So isn't it the
equal the
square
square
root
root
of
of
53 over 2? No?
we will see. So the square root of 2 square plus minus 7 square, and this is equal 4 plus 7 square is 49. Okay, and this is equal the square root of
53.
53 exactly. This is the radius. So actually I get the radius and also I got the center. So I get the center is the blue point here, the order pair 3 and 1, and the radius is the square root of 53. So now I can find the equation of the circle. So the equation of the circle is, what's the equation of the circle?
X minus h squared.
Equation of the circle is
X minus, oh, okay.
is x minus what? What is it? Yes, Chop. Go ahead.
X minus h squared plus x plus
minus
y
square plus
plus
y
minus k.
k squared equal r squared. Now we plug. So I get the center in this question is 3 comma what? 3 and 1.
3 and 1.
3 and 1. And the radius r is the square root of 53.
Yeah.
Just plug inside the equation. Yeah, go ahead. X
So-
minus what?
X minus 3 squared
Okay,
plus y minus 1
square.
squared equals 53.
53 without the radical. Why? Because we have square. Square with the radical, they will cancel out. Okay, so this is my equation of the circle for this example. Any question?
I have a question.
Yes,
Like-
go ahead.
Let's say you get a question like to graph this final equation that we just wrote.
Okay,
How would you know the radius from the 53? Like,
take the square root.
like, would you say like let's say it was 9, right? You would
Okay.
you square root it. That's it.
Yes, exactly. Then just take the square root. If it's 9, take the square root, they give you 3. If it's 25, take the square root.
Oh,
If it's
okay.
36, take the square root. The square root of 36 is 6. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of
But then,
16, if this is 16, square root of 16 is 4. Yes, go ahead, Shab.
yeah, to find, if you want to, let's say if you're given an equation and you're trying to find the center and the radius, just make sure you change the sign in between the parentheses of that constant. Just change whatever it is and square root the outside number, and then you get the radius in the center.
Exactly, correct. Just you have to make sure here you have to change the sign. So here's the center, it will be not -3, will be 3 positive and 1. So the center, like we said here, 3 positive and 1 positive. And the radius, take the square root of this one. Square root of this one is square root of 53. If this number, like for example, 9, take the square root of 9 is 3. If this number is 25, take the square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 16, suppose this 16, again, is 4. That's it. And then you going to graph. Okay, any question for this one?
Professor, can you go back to the slide?
Yes, go ahead. Here.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go back to the other slide.
Okay, so now, so give me 1 second, please.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, I know you said the radius is the square root of, like, like 53 right now. So you just square root it and that would be your radius. But
Yes,
so
exactly.
it's like a perfect square. So you would just leave it as square root of 53 and they would understand that that is the radius.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, if you take the square root, this is the radius. If like 53 does not have answer, you can keep the radius in the exam or in the question, the square root of 53. That's it. You don't have to do calculation or use the calculator to find the square root of 53. Just keep it like square root of 53.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any other question for this one? Okay, so the last example for this section is, let me go to the next slide. Example. Show the equation x squared plus y squared represent a circle. So the equation is exactly like this. So the equation is like this. Is x squared plus y squared plus 2x minus 6y plus 7 equal 0. So when you see something like this, actually you put the same variables together, the x and the x together, the x squared with the 2x, and you put the y's together, and all numbers you move it to the other side. So here I have x squared, and also I have 2x. So we have to combine it together. And also I have y squared and minus 6y, I have to combine together. And the last thing, I have to move the number 7 to the other side, moving this one to this side. How we can move this number to the side? What we should
Subtract.
do? Subtract, exactly. We have to subtract 7 from both sides. So 7 minus 7 will give me 0. Now let's combining the x variable together. So I get x squared plus 2x. This is inside the parentheses together, plus here's the y together again. So I get y squared minus 6y equal minus 7 minus 7. Now next step, the question is, show this equation represent a circle. So the equation of the circle, like we said before, is something like that: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal the radius square. How we can change this parentheses to something like that: x minus h squared?
Can you?
What we
I think you can factor it, no?
If we factor it, they will not help me actually. Do you have another idea how we can change this parentheses to something like that, square? Before factoring, we have to do one step before factoring, shop. What is
Do
the
you
step?
divide by like x, for example?
If we divide by x, they will get, they will not help because we have to divide all this side by x. We cannot divide only the blue parentheses by x. We have to
Oh.
divide all the equation by x. And also, if we divide it, they will not help because I need the square. You see the square above the parentheses?
Yeah.
Yes. So what about if we complete the square here? How we can complete the square for both of the parentheses?
Oh yeah, now I remember actually. B is b over 2.
b over
b over
2.
2
Exactly.
squared.
Exactly, b over 2 square. We have to add b over 2 square, and also here we have to add b over 2 square. And whatever you add here, you should to add after the equal sign. You have to add it here. Let's go ahead,
It's
Shab.
gonna be x squared plus
What is
2x. Oh no, you want me to do that first?
what is b? What is b
So
here?
2 over 2 squared, which is just 1.
1, exactly. So I get 1 square. So I have to add 1 square for this side. Then I have to add 1 square for this side. Second thing, what do you have to add here for the second parentheses?
So minus 6 over 2
What I
minus
get?
3. Minus 3 squared is 9.
9, exactly. So I add 9 here. Then I have, so here I have to add 9 too. Where did b over 2 come from, Eric? He said.
The b over 2.
Yes.
So notice that there's no c here. We need a constant in order to make it into a factored form, or like he said, squared. So we need a c, like a perfect square. So we use b
Exactly.
over 2 squared to find that c, so we can factor and put it into like a small factored form with a square on
Yes.
top.
Nice. So here, Eric, to find this b over 2, this is if the question asks you complete the square, just you have to know this formula. We used it before in the previous classes. You have to add b over 2 square. The b is the coefficient of the x variable. The coefficient of the x variable here is 2. So 2 over 2 square. 2 over 2 is 1, 1 square is 1. So actually we add in 1 for the blue parentheses, and whatever you add here, you have to add it after the equal sign. So here we have to add 1 square. Same things for the second parentheses. We have to add the b over 2. The b here is the coefficient of the y variable. The y variable here is minus 6. Minus 6 over 2 is minus 3, and minus 3 square is 9. So we have to add 9 for this parentheses, and we have to add 9 after the equal sign. Okay, here I get another question where you get to the 1 square. I did the 1 square by dividing 2 over 2 square. 2 over 2 is 1 square. Now my new equation will be look like something like that: x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus the new parentheses here. I get y squared minus 6y plus 9, and in the other side I get minus 7 plus 1 plus 9. Now what we should to do to get something like that, Eric?
Um,
Factor, right? Now we have to factor, Eric. What's the factor for this one?
it's x plus 1
X plus 1 square.
squared. Yes.
Or we can say this is x plus 1 times x plus 1. This is correct, Eric. Also, Shab, yeah, you are correct. X plus 1 times x plus 1. And x plus 1 times x plus 1, something like that. X plus 1 times x plus 1. This is actually equal x plus 1, everything square. And this the factor for this one is x plus 1 squared. Now, what is the factor for the second parenthesis?
Y minus 3 square.
Exactly, y minus 3 squared. And what's the value here after we simplify? Minus 7 plus 1 plus 9 is
3.
3, correct. So actually, I get something similar to this one. Something to the equation of the circle. X plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared equal 3. Where's the center here? What's the center?
The center is -1 and 3.
And 3. The opposite sign of this one and the opposite sign of this one. -1 and 3. And what is the radius?
3.
This is square root of 3.
Square root of 3. You take the square root of this number. So actually, this is representing a circle. This is correct. We show this equation representing a circle. So yes, it represents a circle. Any question for this example?
Is there times when an equation does not represent a circle?
Which one?
I'm just saying, is there can there be an equation that doesn't represent a circle?
Exactly. Sometimes if you some equation, but most of the equation will represent a circle, something like that. It's gonna be represent a circle. Why? By completing the square. Completing the square, they change the circle to like they change the equation. When you complete the square, it's gonna be changing the equation to something like that. Most of the equation after you complete the square, you're gonna get something like this. Why? When you add b over 2 square for both sides, so you're gonna get something like this. After that, you're going to factor these things here, the parentheses, you're going to get something like this: x minus h squared, and the same things for the y minus k squared. Any question? So by this example, we finished the section, the graph section. Now, so we have like around 5-6 minutes before the class end. We're going to give like a small definition or like some general idea about the new section is the line. Section 1.3. So here, section 1.3 lines. 1.3 lines. Okay. So first of all, in this section, you have to know what is the slope of the line.
Wait, sorry,
So-
can you hold for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, Sure.
Got it. Thank you.
No problem. So first of all, we have to know the slope of the line. So the slope of the line, so I'm going to give a general definition here, the slope of a line. So the slope of the line, yes, exactly, Eric, he said the equation, this is the linear equation actually, y equal mx plus b. But we're going to start talking about the line. In the beginning, we're going to give the general idea about the slope. Then we go over the equation of the line, y equal mx plus b. And I will give you the definition of the line. The same like the circle, I give the definition of the circle. I'm going to give the definition of, the equation of the line. So a slope,
Isn't it just the steepness of a line?
what is that? Can you repeat what you said? So a slope
Like
of a line.
steepness of a, like the steepness of a line?
Yes, exactly. It's the steepness of the line. How is the lines, like by the slope, I can know how is the line look like. The slope is very important for the line. I will show you some cases for the line next time, but in this time, I'm going to give you the formula how you can find the slope of any line. Then next time, I'm going to show you how this line combined with any line, like by the slope, how I can know how is the line look like. Just when you just calculate the slope, you can know the general graph of the line. But today, because we don't have time, I'm going to give you only the line equation, how you can find, the slope equation, how you can find the slope. So the slope of the line that passes 2 points. The first point is x1 comma y1. Here is x1 comma y1. And the second point is x2 comma y2 is exactly here, Eric, he said the difference of y. So I can say the slope m equal the difference of the y variable y2 minus y1, the difference of y over the difference of x1 x2 minus x1. This is the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Next time, we're going to find the slope here. Next time, we will find the slope for vertical line and also for horizontal line. So get ready for next time to find the slope for the vertical line and the horizontal line. So we're going to stop up to here today, and I will see you Thursday. Again, my email is gayousef99@gmail.com. I see you Thursday.
So can I ask you something?
Yes, what's your question?
So I asked you about the homework that I was late to.
Okay.
Yeah, I emailed you to extend it, but you have not approved it yet.
You was late for what?
I think due time was 13 seconds.
Just send me an extension request in the website, and I will do it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and
no
Mr.
Yes, go ahead.
Professor, can you please
Yes.
open some of my assignments there too?
For your assignment, which one?
Yeah.
Number 2?
No,
Just send me
I
an
just,
extension request.
sure. Okay.
Just send me any extension request, and I will do it for you. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good day.
everyone.
Bye, have a good day.
See you.
All right. See you
See you
Thursday.
Thursday. Have a good day. Take care. See you Thursday. Have a good day. Bye.